Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Candid Conversations Boss Chicks. I am your host, the laid back down to earth life coach, Aisha isReal, and this morning's boss chick is Marvelette Bailey. She is a licensed cosmetologist, a certified trichologist, and a biomedical research assistant. Don't worry if you're not sure what all of that means. She is going to let you know. But she's definitely here with some important information about wigs, weaves, the installation of it all, and how it affects your health. So you want to sit back and listen to all of this, take all the notes you can, and make sure that you're making some informed choices. Here we go. Hey, but before we get to the interview, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then click the notification bell so you'll know every time we post or go live. Thank you so much. Now to the interview. Hi there, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for being here. So, just briefly, everybody, thank you for coming on and tuning in to Candid Conversations Boss Chicks. This morning, we have Marvelette Bailey. She is a licensed cosmetologist with a lot of years of experience. So, she's here to give you some advice and some information, but she's also going to share her journey about how she became a boss chick. But I'm going to give you the floor for a moment for you to just tell the audience about yourself, and then I will come in with my question.
Okay, so again, I'm Marvelette Bailey. I'm a licensed cosmetologist for over almost 35 years. I'm also a certified trichologist, a biomedical research assistant, and a cosmetology instructor. So I've been in the beauty industry for a very long time. So I like to describe what I do as I work in the paramedical science field of the beauty industry. That kind of sums everything up.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a very technical term that if you just said that to somebody on the street, they'd be like, what? It sounds very, very important. So we're going to break it down, right? So the first thing is the cosmetologist. So what exactly is a cosmetologist?
So it's someone who is licensed in the field of beauty. So you're eligible to do nails, facials, hair, everything under the umbrella, basically. Okay. Instead of breaking it down into different segments, a cosmetologist can do everything. You're licensed to do everything under the umbrella.
Okay. And so because I know that some people just do braids and some people just do weaves and some people just do nails, like no hair at all. And so if they have a cosmetology license, even though they're doing that, they're able to do everything.
Yes.
What you're saying. So are there people out there that don't have cosmetology licenses that are doing hair and nails?
Absolutely. Okay. So you can pick and choose. You can just become a licensed nail technician or an esthetician. You can break it up. You don't have to do everything.
Okay.
It's less hours, less time, less money.
Got it.
You know the area of expertise you want to go into.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. So you can do that without getting everything. Yes. If you already know specifically what you like to do. Okay. Now with that, since you are able to do everything, do you have like a specific area that you prefer?
I specialize in healthy hair. That's healthy hair. I have did nails, I did facials, I did massages, I've been a platform artist. I have literally probably worked in every facet of the beauty industry.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay.
So that's my thing. Definitely. I'm definitely a hair person.
Okay. All right. Cool. And so I'm very interested in this topic because I too just really like healthy hair. Of course, beauty, but the health part, right? The internal. And I'm speaking of hair, skin, organs,
everything. I just like health. So now what is a trichologist? Because before talking to you, I'd never heard that term.
So a trichologist is a person who specializes in hair, scalp, and disease. So it's the science of the hair and the health of the hair and scalp. Again, like you said, you like health period. So the best way to describe it for me, anything on the inside projects on the outside. If you're not healthy on the inside, the first sign of disturbance is usually noticing your skin, hair, and nails.
Got it. Okay. Now I didn't know that, but okay, very cool. And so now, where does the biomedical research come in? And have you been doing that as long as you've been doing cosmetology?
No, I'm gonna say maybe two. I don't want to misspeak, so I'm gonna say maybe 10 years, between 7 to 10 years.
Okay. And how did you get into that?
I met a lady named Dr. Porter. We were both speakers at a conference in Vegas.
Okay.
And she is actually a hair doctor. So she is a hair scientist, basically. She's a scientist.
Wow.
And I started doing research through her through Main Insight. She had an affiliation with Chicago State. So through her program, we were allowed to be certified as biomedical research assistants. And in turn, we help with, I do a lot of work with her and with her company as far as case studies and putting things together and research.
Okay. And you still work with her?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. So you really like that.
I've always been a science geek. I love science. Art and science have always been my thing. Yes.
Okay. So now what is some helpful information that just a regular person, who's not into science, but does care about healthy hair? What's some information that you can share with them that they may not know?
So I'm going to speak to, okay, so as far as the consumer and the professional, so I'll say this part. If you professionally get your hair done, it's highly likely that your stylist will know that you're losing hair before you do, or that you have a hair scalp issue because we're in your head. Telltale sign is after shampooing, the amount of hair that's in the bowl. Or even if you're at home when you're combing your hair and you see the hair on the floor on your clothes and it's shedding more than usual, that's a telltale sign. Okay. If you see a lot of breakage, if your eyebrows are thinning on the ends, if your nails are very brittle, if you have debris on your scalp, all dandruff is not created equal, so they could be telling a different story.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Wow. I thought dandruff was dandruff. The dry scalp. So how many different types of dandruff are there?
I could not quote that. I can't say that. I don't know. Yeah, because it can mean different things. Let me say that. Okay. It can mean different things. It could be seborrheic dermatitis. It could be contact dermatitis. It could be dry scalp. It could be a buildup. It could be a number of things. In saying that, I can say that hair loss. A lot of people like to say, well, I went to the doctor and they say I have alopecia. I have alopecia. So the thing about alopecia is it has a first name, a last name, and sometimes a middle name. It depends on what type of alopecia that lets you know its cause and how it can be treated.
Okay. Now that's interesting. Because at one time I was told that I had alopecia and I went to, I don't remember, it's a famous name where they do some type of restoration in your scalp, hair plugs or something. I don't know. But I just didn't like, after meeting with them, I just didn't like what it sounded like was going to be done to me. And so I went and got Rogaine, but I was told like not to use the women's Rogaine, to use the men's Rogaine. So I did that. And then, my hair has grown back. It was just like you said, on the ends of my eyebrows, and then like just right around, you can see like my hairline had receded. And that was strange for me because I'm like, what in the world is going on? But nobody broke it down as to say like there was a different type of alopecia or anything like that. They're just like, you have it and your hair's falling out. So is alopecia usually a permanent situation?
It depends on why you have it and how it came about. And that goes along with the consultation, a trichoscopy, and then your diagnosis.
A try what now?
Trichoscopy. Usually we get that done with a trichologist or with a dermatologist. My suggestion is with the dermatologist, because the trichologists need a relationship with the doctors, with the dermatologist, with the endocrinologist, whatever. You need to read that relationship. That bridge is very important. So it's only so far that a trichologist can take you. You're going to need medical attention as well. And it's important that we work together.
Okay. Now, how does somebody find, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
How does somebody find a trichologist? So like I said, before I spoke to you, I never heard that term, which means no doctor ever referred me to one.
So we're still working on bridging that gap. I have a couple of dermatologists and other physicians that I can't say I have a relationship with, so I will refer them business, or I already have some of their clients, some of their patients.
Okay.
And so we have that bond. I have met them along the way and doing different speaking engagements, different connections. Because a lot of trichologists, now let me say this, some doctors are trichologists, but most trichologists are not doctors, not medical doctors. And that's key. So you have a lot of some trichologists that try to come across as one way. And so that's where the problem comes in. Or it depends on how you speak about the medical doctor, how they speak about us. They're not all created equal, nor are we. So that gap is very important, that we bridge that gap. Having respect for each other, staying in our own lanes. Although a lot of people are very knowledgeable, we still have to be careful as to not cross the line.
Okay.
So even if because I do the research and I have seen several patients over the years, let's say if I'm looking at your scalp and I see something that would give me an indicator because of my professional journey, that you have a particular autoimmune deficiency. I cannot legally tell you what I see, or tell you that you have, I'm gonna make some up, lupus or Graves' disease. I can't legally tell you that because I'm not a medical doctor. What I can say is I'm going to refer you out to your doctor. I'm going to suggest that you go follow up with your primary care physician and ask for these tests. Or I can say specific blood tests that I want you to have, because that will help me determine other things that's going on with you as well.
Okay.
So
the professionalism.
Right. Because we have seen so many things. You can't identify certain things, or you may have an idea, but we cannot legally diagnose. That's very important.
Understood.
But there are systems in place. So a particular scope I have in the software, the things go into the cloud where the client becomes nameless and become a number. And then there are a team of doctors who view the trichoscopy photos and my notes and the medical history, and then they will send back a diagnosis.
Okay.
Even though a lot of times I can know
before you send it.
But I mean, sometimes a lot of things do have similarities.
Okay.
Certain things have very, very close similarities.
Okay.
But it could just be the way the hair is coming out of that follicle. If the follicles start over, if there's lesions on the scalp, that can make that difference.
Okay. So really, just like any disease or virus, they're closely related. So it could be something and not something else. And I was going to say, like, so I to just clarify and make sure I understand from my perspective. So I'm an educator, and I've been in education for over 25 years. And so when children come in, a lot of times, I'm going to say a high percentage, like 95% of the time, we can recognize things like autism and ADHD immediately. But you're correct. We can't tell the parent, your child has autism. Your child, you know what I mean? Your child is on the spectrum. We can say, I'm going to need your permission, first of all, to have an evaluator come in and just observe to see. And usually it's a case manager or a special ed teacher or something like that who's going to come in. So I definitely understand professional courtesy. And hopefully this interview today is going to broaden the awareness of what a trichologist does and how important it is to know what's going on with your scalp. Now, there was a question that I had that we spoke about before about, because nowadays weaves are prevalent, right? And so you said it is okay to get a weave, but you need to have some type of education, right, to know when to take a break or what type of weave to get. So how do people make, like, what should they do to make those decisions or plan?
Okay, so I like to call it commercial hair integration.
Okay.
Because anytime you're adding other hair into your hair, be it human or synthetic, you're integrating other hair into your hair, whether it be braids, sew-in, wig, whatever.
Okay.
So there's certain precautions to take as far as treating the hair,
Okay.
because there was a study done where a lot of different types of weave hair was commercial hair, I'm going to say, was tested, and
Okay.
they were put in solutions to remove what they process it with. And when they took that off, some of it turned the liquid turned green, or there was a foul smell, or was so thick. So sometimes we can be allergic to the things that they use to process the hair and treat the hair.
Okay.
Another thing, even the most expensive hair was only, I believe, was 3% human hair.
3%?
So none of the hair is really human hair.
What?
And then when you do treatments, different things to remove some of the things they process it with, because a lot of times people get contact dermatitis, they scalp break out, they start itching, they face break out because they're allergic to whatever they process the hair with. These are things that we don't know. But I will say, when you do try to treat the hair before you put it on your hair, it can change the texture.
Oh, okay.
If you do it too much. So we usually use vinegar and warm water to treat the hair first. You can soak it, you can rinse it, you can dip it, vinegar and hot water, vinegar and warm water, depending on what hair it is. But the longer you let it sit, the more it will remove the coating and the more that it will change the texture of the hair. That's just my truth. So even if you just shampoo it and switch it around, add a little vinegar to the shampoo solution, that will help.
Okay.
Even braid hair. People don't really think about the synthetic braid hair, but that also can cause issues.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
I was going to go into a whole nother, go ahead. So if it's
okay. So with the soaking of it, is it better to treat it for a long time or better to treat it for a short time?
It just depends. It just depends, because if you do it too long, like I said, it's going to change the texture of the hair.
Okay.
It will. And most people don't like that. So sometimes you could just rinse it, do it. If you do a quick shampoo before you install it, that's a huge help right there.
Okay.
Just to shampoo some of the stuff off.
Okay.
If you're adding vinegar to the water and soaking it, that's even more in depth. It just depends on the hair and what you're doing with it. The vinegar does not generally leave a smell, but if you do a vinegar rinse, add water too, not straight vinegar. I would go back with a shampoo, or you could just kind of mix it in the shampoo just to give it a fresh smell, follow it up with some conditioner, just get rid of the vinegar smell, but it's not going to hold it that long.
Okay.
And then when you're wearing commercial hair, I'm going to say a sew-in per se, especially if you have no hair left out, a very little leave out. I like to take a color bottle, a tint bottle with a needle nose nozzle. I would mix so many parts shampoo, so many parts water, and I would squeeze it under the tracks and let it sit for a minute and then shampoo the hair. So you're making sure you're properly cleansing the scalp.
Okay. Okay. And so, because I've heard different things about how long to leave in a weave, is there a minimum time, and then is there a maximum?
So my experience is 3 months. 2 months. I always tell my clients 2 months, 3 months max, because a number of things that happen. You can clean it, but how often are you really shampooing your hair? And then are you really deep cleansing it? But most importantly, your braids underneath will start to lock.
Oh, okay.
And so you're combing out a lot of hair. Well, people say, well, that's normal because it's been braided and you tend to lose hair every day, which is true. But your hair will start to lock. Those braids underneath will start to lock.
Got it. Okay.
Or mat, or whatever you want to call it. They will lock and it'll be hard to take them loose.
Okay, that's good information. So I had a weave one time because I wanted to test out a short hairdo, like before I cut my hair, and I was told I could keep it for 3 months. I could not go past 2 weeks. I texted my hairdresser. I'm like, I can't do it. I had to cut it out. It just was like, I don't like not being able to reach my scalp just to scratch it. Like that bothered me. I'm like, it's not getting there. Like, it just was. And then I have a wild imagination, so I won't say what my imagination did with what could possibly.
Like bugs was crawling.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh, okay.
True story. So somebody had a sew-in, She was wearing a hair unit. It wasn't sewing. It was a piece.
Okay.
And we removed it to cleanse and whatever, to examine her. She had a mole on her scalp. We turned away and we looked back. It was gone. It wasn't a mole. It was a molar fly. It was living underneath her scalp.
Oh, see,
so we had to refer her to seek medical attention. So there, all those things are true. And even with purchasing other hair, you don't know where the hair was stored. You don't know how it was transported. A lot of times it's not even, especially braid hair, it's not even in bags. It's stored in warehouses with mice. You don't know what they're doing on the hair, spiders or whatever's having eggs. So you don't know.
Got it.
No.
Okay, you just made this way more scarier of an experience. Okay, so I'm glad I took that out. I mean, I didn't have any bugs, but it just
feels like it because you can't get to your scalp.
Yeah. Let's see what else, because we had a really good conversation before, and so let's see. You were talking about you said something about research funded by grants. So did we talk about is that research for the trichology, or what were we talking about with research?
I do not recall. I do say there are grants that will fund research. It's just a matter of finding them. Okay. And applying for them and obtaining them. You know, grants are very tedious. Applying for grants is a very tedious process. Okay. So I do think, and this is something else I want to raise awareness to. I understand that a lot of people of African descent do not participate in research, rightfully so, because of things that have happened in the past. Right. And a lot of these product companies will create these products, and we spend $3 billion in products a year, if not more. But the research that's being done don't include us. Okay. And that's very important. So you want our money, you target us in marketing, but we're not including the research. So when you say it works, it does work, or prove to me that it works on us. And what does it do for my hair? So we need to do better. I encourage us to do better in participating in research so that we can find things that work for us, and so that we know that it's true, and hold these products companies are responsible to add validity to their claims. Is your claim valid? Does your product do this? How does it work for my hair? Why does it work for my hair? And then there's a product company that says, okay, this is for Black people. And they say that there's a company, certain companies will say geared towards certain ethnicities. Why is it special for us? Show me how. Show me the data. And that's legally, if they have data, they have to show it to you, and that's public knowledge.
Okay. I think too, that's probably why a lot of Black, I mean, they're doing research, but it's more or less like experience with our creating and selling the product, and they're showing you how it works on their own head.
Okay, let's say third-party testing. Okay. Third-party testing is important. Okay. Because that's not the same as testing in-house. Before and after pictures are great. I love before and after picture. A lot of people are smaller companies can't afford to do third-party testing, but if you connect with a trichologist or a healthy hair expert or a stylist who is into healthy hair, you can have. So what I can say is, per my professional experience, I've used this product on 25 to 30 clients. When I did that trichoscopy 3 or 4 months prior, this is what it showed. After using this product and doing a second trichoscopy 3 to 6 months later, this is the end result. This is what I've noticed. This is how the hair has changed. So you have data.
Okay. Now, could a company who is trying to cater to Black women's hair, could they come to you and you do the research, or do you have to work for that company to be part of the research team? Okay.
So they would have to outsource contract, and I would have to go to Main Insights because some things are beyond my reach. I can do a personal or my professional research. I can do a collaboration. So we would use it in a small group, but that's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother, a lot
of interview.
A lot of contracts, a lot of paperwork.
Okay.
To answer your question, yes, it could be done. I would say the first steps, because sometimes you might want to do a pilot study or something very small, a smaller scale. But as you go on a larger scale, you have to reach out to, I have the means, I have the reach. I can't personally do it, but you can start with a trichologist. And I would say 1 to 3 trichologists in different areas, and do their research, have them use the product on so many people. Because we have to note every time we see a client, we have to take notes. We don't take photos every time. We can't take photos, but we're noticing everything. Is something that I have my clients to do, is to write in a journal what you eat, what you put in your body, how you feel, and what have you noticed after everything.
Okay.
So,
and so what's the length of time that you would study a person, or you know what I mean?
It depends. So as a trichology client or as for research purposes?
Let's go with both, because I don't know.
Okay, so I'm going to go with the trichology. So for a client, I'm going to say, what I started doing, I had multiple packages, but now I do one package. You could tweak it however you want, take away or add on. Okay. So it takes at least 3 months to see any real difference. Usually it takes up to 3 months to see a change. You have to be consistent. So I would say 3 months. I would do you 3 months, but I like to say 4. And then we'll check your progress. So we're checking it along the way, but we're going to do a hard progress check at 4 weeks.
Okay.
If I see little to no change, at that point I will dismiss you, or we can go to 6 months. And if we start to see progress, the absolute max is 1 year. But after 6 months, I'm ready to say, I can't help you, but I will try to find someone else who can, but I've reached my limit, because I cannot keep taking your money if I don't see a real difference where I'm helping you. If there's no difference, absolutely 6 months is I can't.
Okay.
If they want to go on, the max will be a year. I cannot keep seeing you if I'm not helping you. But along the way, I'm going to refer you, get this blood test, go have this blood work done, go check out this doctor, talk to a dermatologist. And this is something else. When you're seeking a dermatologist, if you're having hair loss issues, my advice is to seek a dermatologist who specializes in hair loss.
Okay.
Or if you're a woman of African descent or a man, seek I would say someone who looks like you. If you're Chinese, I would say seek someone who looks like you. Just because you're not their ethnicity doesn't mean you can't help them. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the most important thing is to seek out someone who specializes in your area of concern, which will be your hair loss. Just like if you have foot problems, you're going to go see a podiatrist. You're not going to see a pediatrician.
Right.
So that's their area of expertise. So that's my thing. Seek out someone who has their area of expertise, because they will maximize your benefits, or they can help you the best.
Okay. And so just to clarify, a person who believes that they have a healthy head of hair, is there really no reason to contact a trichologist?
So everybody has something. Dandruff is an issue. Breakage is an issue. Split ends is the issue. You see what I'm saying? So everybody has something. But even if you do have a healthy head of hair, there are things you can do to make sure your hair stays healthy. Go get different treatments or have things done. There's even a test to see if you have a predisposition to hair loss or different types of alopecia. That's something you can do. Help with your diet, different things like that. Your eating habits, your grooming habits, because sometimes you may think you have an issue, or maybe you don't. But say your grooming habits can cause you to have an issue later on down the line. Just like all shampoos are not created equal. Shampoo is shampoo is shampoo, not true. You need different types of shampoos for different reasons, depending on what your grooming habits are, for instance, or your styling choices.
Awesome. So, well, we are coming to the close of our segment. I think you've done a wonderful job of explaining, and I think this has been very helpful. And I want to know, before I ask the question I told you I was going to ask, I want to know, could somebody contact you directly, or how would they get in touch with you or a trichologist if they feel they need one?
They can contact me through my website. It is www.trichoscienceclinic.com. That's Tricho, TRICHO, scienceclinic.com. And there, my phone numbers there. You can DM me. You can call me. So all my content, you can send me an email.
Okay. Sounds good.
Everything's there.
All right. So yes, the question, in your own words, what makes you a boss chick?
What makes me a boss chick? My ambition and my willingness to succeed and help others.
Yes, yes. Helping others is key. Okay, so with that, what words of advice or encouragement can you leave for an aspiring boss chick?
Stay true to yourself and your journey.
I love it. I think you are the second person this season that has said about being true to yourself, or authenticity is very important. So thank you for that. And thank you for coming on the show. We're going to close out. Thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of Candid Conversations Boss Chick. And don't forget to tune in next time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Candid Conversations Boss Chicks. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to go to Amazon.com to pick up my book, End of Silent Suffering, where I teach you how to survive a relationship with a narcissist, but also how to know, identify, hold on to true love, just as I do in my online course, Know and Embrace True Love. Thanks so much. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.